got the opportunity to see this because I'm sure he will be proud of me. And Dad, I'm sure wherever you are proud of me. I mean, I started with the Yoruba genre of Nollywood. And then my father, who had lived in Lagos for a very long time, but as a proper Benin man who refused to speak Yoruba. So when I started doing Yoruba films, my father would be like, you don't go do English. You don't go do Benin. You know, and all that and all that. So I went through all the journey, Yoruba films, English films. And this particular film took me back to my roots, thereby making my father's wish come true. My father actually wished that I would feature in the Benin film, and even though he's not here, I just, God, I hope I made you proud. Yeah. Watching this film and watching how I was speaking Benin, I mean, I've lived all my life in Lagos, like 47 years of my life in Lagos. And, you know, kudos to my dad. My dad is a typical Benin man that, you know, in the house, if you want to speak to my dad, you have to speak Benin. So you have to, especially if you want some money. If you want some money, you go need to speak the Benin before he gives you the money. So, you know, and that's why as parents, we should actually encourage our kids not to throw away our tradition, be it our way of mode of dressing or our language, which is very important. Because, you know, if we lose our identity, then we are nobodies. So that being said, this film took me to my roots, and also it also resonated with me as I've been a single mom before I got married. For years, I was a single mom to Michelle. And let me tell you guys something. Like 3 days ago, I had to send a text message to Michelle. And I said, Michelle, I'm so sorry. Okay, so you might think that, you know, the upbringing I gave you was so harsh. I was harsh. I can't lie. I was harsh. Yeah, but I raised a vessel for God. Yeah, I said, you should clap for me now. Yeah.
Come on, hands together.
So I had to send a text message to her a few days ago, and I said, that's one thing this film taught me.
Let's pay attention.
We need to have, it's very important to have closure on so many issues. And then we need to also pay attention to our kids. I'm just going to, please, I won't bore you, but I'm just going to quickly share the story. So, a few years ago, I sent my daughter to Canada for school. And one day, I was calling her, she didn't pick my calls. I called her friend. I'm like, Precious, I'm calling your friend, she's not picking my call. So she said, okay, Mommy, I'm going to call you back. Then she called me back. I said, okay, Mommy, you can call Michelle, she's not pick. And then when she picked, I'm like, Michelle, I've been calling, you're not picking my call. She said, Mommy, I'm traumatized. I said, what's wrong? Are you okay? She said, Mommy, I remember you hit a bucket on my head one day. And I said, are you mad? You ain't crazy. Oh, so because you're abroad now, you know, and not thinking of how that would make her feel. That's what this film will do to a lot of people. I think it's about time we start to have this conversation. We have a lot of damaged adults around everywhere, yeah, who have not properly healed from their childhood trauma. So I'm so proud to be part of this project. I'm sure a lot of you have been seeing how I've been pushing this film in my blood, because I believe that it's time we need to start having these conversations. I mean, that's why we have narcissists all over the place. Like, people are still stuck. And, you know, as African parents, we are too proud. We are too proud. So if I can throw away, I mean, probably if I can throw away my apology 3 days ago, I told Michelle, I'm sorry. She was like, Mommy, are you okay? Are you alright? Is everything going on with you? Are you good? So if I can do that, I think, you know, a lot of people will be able to relate to this film, to resonate with a lot of people. It's a call to action to African parents. Yes, I get it, but there should be limitations to what we do actually. Too much of everything they say is bad. So please guys, spread the word. Thank you for coming. Please celebrate to go to the cinema to see my mother in a week. God bless you.
Amen.
And thank you for indulging me. I'm sorry I took your time.
Amen.
Thank you.
Also, so because of time, Koinsola will ask Timini, Niyo a question, and then we move on. But we're going to begin with Koinsola.
Yes, I'm here.
All right. All right. Your question for Timini.
Oh, I have to use. So she just spoke from a mother's POV. I'd like to hear from. I understand. But Timini told us something on the red carpet. He said he did something one day where he put, I think it was a knockout in the toilet, and he blew up his mom's toilet. Right? So, is that, sorry, did I spill too much? You said that. Okay, so I'm free to ask my question then. All right. If you were to advise African parents, because African parents seem to think that tough love works all the time. I mean, she could have easily communicated with her child, but she did not. And this is something that most of our parents do. So if you were to advise African parents, do you think that tough love... Wait, sorry about that. I saw something on Auntie Mercy's page where she tried to speak with Efe in a loving manner. You know, sorry, don't do that again. Then she tried to her parenting, it didn't work. Until she used African parenting with broom and all of that, right? It works for some people, and it doesn't work for some others, right? So what would you advise? Would you tell them that, you know, I don't think this is this works, but then it works for some people, so how do we balance all of this? Because you can't keep on doing gentle parenting for all kids. Oh, don't let me say anything more, but what do you think? I'd like to know your perspective on this.
Okay, first of all, I'm not a parent yet, right? But I know that the kind of discipline that I needed as a kid, because I was a very stubborn kid, right? The kind of discipline I needed to be who I am today, I thank my mom, I thank my dad for every time that they brushed me, you know. But moving forward, I feel like some parenting doesn't always have to be physical, like in terms of like beating and all of that. There's things that have changed, kids are sharper, you know. Ethiopia now is not what Ethiopia used to be when I was 12, you know. So I feel like, and you also need to understand that every kid is going to be different. So as parents, like Auntie Mercy said, I feel like parents just need to be attentive and, you know, find the peculiar needs for your child and just communicate, you know. At the end of the day, the trauma that comes from beating doesn't always work in the positive light for the kid, you know. I know some people that were beaten until today, they still have anxiety, they still have PTSD and whatnot. So when I'm a parent though, I promise that, or just, I hope that, you know, I'll be able to have the patience to communicate with my kid as much as possible, and be the best dad that I can be without giving them any scar. Then that's my second question. Obviously, Efe, I'm so proud of you. You know, you called, I didn't need to read the script. When true friends call, you ask, you drop everything you're doing and you show up, no questions asked. And I'm happy that you made all of us proud. You know, Efe is my longest friend I've ever had in this life. She knew me, we knew each other before like all of this, and looking back to where we're coming from now, I just want to say that I'm so proud of you. I wish you all the best. We push this film with all our heart, all our soul, because you deserve the best, and I like it when good things happen to good people.
They just want you to cry today. Please, no more. So we want audience interaction as well. So if you have questions, we're just going to take two from the crowd. Just two questions from the crowd. But I want to quickly ask Neo and of course Princess a question. So I'm going to begin with Neo. Neo, you've done so already. And there's this mold that people from that reality show have not been able to break.